Morning, Abuja. Welcome to another exciting edition of Good Morning, Abuja on NTH Channel 5, the Unity Station. I am your host, Cynthia Opene. Thank you so much. And I am thrilled, to start this beautiful day with you. All right. Today is the International Day for the Prevention of Violent Extremism. So we have guests who will join us to explore, to explore how we can have a safer community. All right. But first, you know how we do it. We are kickstarting the show with this motivation as we join Mema Epinam. So please don't go anywhere. Just grab a cup of coffee, sit tight, make yourself comfortable. We'll be right back.
If making a mark and standing out is one of the things you are interested in doing in 2025, then trust me, you have to bring more than a high IQ to the table. Just being book smart doesn't cut it anymore in 2025. So here are some things you can groom, you can build. These are skills you can build that will help you stand out, that will make you unique. To be a high value person, number one, emotional intelligence. Your ability to manage your emotions, your ability to have empathy, to show empathy, it will stand you out. An emotionally intelligent person is someone who is self-aware, who can manage themselves, who doesn't blow up in everyone's face at every trigger. Whatever triggers you, you just blow up and melt down and create a scene. No, that's not a high value. A high value personality has emotional intelligence. Another thing is social intelligence, your ability to connect with people, to inspire people, to motivate people and make them work with you, make them willing to trust you. It takes some social skills to be that person. So you can develop your social quotient. Another thing you can do to stand you out in 2025 as a professional is be sure of your purpose. Get purpose clarity. It's so important. These are some of the things that make you special, make you unique. Even without saying a word, you step into a place and you command respect and attention because you know your why. You know why you are there. You're not confused. Every morning you step out of the bed, you exactly know what you want to do for that day. These are things that stand you out, that make you have that magnetic presence that everybody just wants to connect with. Everybody wants to know, who is that? I mean, it's not about your physical outlook. It's not really about your dress. It's not your dress sense. It's just your personality, the person on the inside, the way that person moves. Those are the things that you can do in 2025 to set you apart. So get emotionally intelligent, get socially intelligent, and get purpose clarity. These three will set you on your path to being a high value personality in 2025.
Thank you so much, Mema. Yes, skills we can build to make us stand out. Thank you so much. It's time for us to join Dr. David Ajibade in our health tips segment as he talks to us about managing weaknesses and building strength. Let's hear from him.
Hi, Dr. David here. I want to take a few minutes to talk about a concept that's been brewing in my mind now for years, and was two conflicting concepts. One is called what I call managing around weakness, and the other one is building strength. So building strength versus managing around weakness. So what's the backstory? So if a child has sickle cell disease, and obviously we do a lot with sickle cell disease, the standard prevailing wisdom is that you try to do everything you can to keep that child from getting an infection, going out from having a crisis. So that means they shouldn't go out and play much. They should drink a lot of water. They should avoid everything and anything that upsets them emotionally or otherwise. And so just keep them in that little protected bubble so they don't have a crisis, which of course is important, especially if the child is very prone to having crises. Very little is said about how you can strengthen that child's defenses, strengthen their immune system, strengthen their blood vessels, strengthen their whatever it takes to ensure that they live a normal life. So I like to focus more on the aspect of building strength and finding out those areas that we can actually do something about. So think about it. It's an empowering sort of philosophy as opposed to, in my opinion, a disempowering philosophy. The other thing about this whole managing around the weakness theory is that it works better in developed countries where there are safeguards, there are guardrails, there are protections, there are accommodations, there are laws to protect the weak. Now, in developing countries, like most of us live in Africa, even if those safeguards are written and are in place, many people and many organizations don't follow those safeguards. So to all intents and purposes, the individual is on their own, except for their immediate family, maybe. And so they're left to fend for themselves. It's kind of like sending a chihuahua into the wild, wild west. I mean, all bets are off pretty much. So why don't we strengthen the body? And you can do the two of them together. It's not just one or the other. Obviously, hold on to the safeguards, the support systems that the governments can give you. And if you don't have them, well, then focus on building strength. And what we know is that once you focus on building strength, by the way, we started a company called Building Strength LLC, just to show you how committed I am to that process. Once we focus on strengthening the parts we need to strengthen, you will find out that the threshold for these crises or these problems or these events, or even the weakness and the pains that kids with sickle cell disease feel, that threshold begins to rise higher and higher and higher. I say this because this is also important when it comes to diseases like dementia. In the third world countries, we don't have the psychiatrists, the neurologists, the counselors and so on, the support, the social workers and so on. So most people with dementia are taken care of by their families. In the US and the UK, for instance, again, that social support system is there. The guardrails and so on are there. So you have the assisted living facilities and so on and so forth. But all they're doing is just trying to, again, support, because there's no real cure for dementia. So they're just trying to support and just, sort of chaperone the person to their grave, which is a harsh way of saying it. Well, what if we also look at what it takes for the brain to be healthy and strong? Let's strengthen the brain. Now, obviously, again, there's no official cure for dementia, but there are things you can do to help support the brain, to strengthen the brain, especially in the milder forms of the disease. So what if we focus on those things? The specific nutrients that strengthen the brain, the specific exercises, the specific tools, and the social support, challenging the brain. Those things can really, really be helpful. So the point I want to leave again is building strength as opposed to managing around weakness.
Yes, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, it's still Good Morning Abuja. Thank you, Dr. David Ajibade. Now we want to shake our body. This time we are joining Princess Anat, and she says to us, we are all Nigerians. Let's enjoy this piece of music from her.
We are Nigerians. Anywhere you see them, they are the same people. In America or Antarctica, different faces, same passion. The best, they are Nigerians. Anytime you see us, we always stand out. The happiest, never downcast. Different cultures, same swagger, above the rest. We are Nigeria.
All right, it's time for us to go on our first break on the show. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
We celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
Jama'a barkamu da wannan
The Unity Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
This is called the police.
Live on the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
The least you and I can do is to assist them by making security our primary concern.
To those who seek to disrupt the tranquility of the FCT, I send a clear and resolute message. My tenure will be marked by a zero-tolerance approach to all forms of crimes and criminality.
When there's a court order that restricts them to Mushu Abiola Stadium, they ought to have obeyed that law. But because the FCT Police Command were prepared, we were proactive, we were able to manage within the ambit of the law.
Security is everyone's business. This is why NTA Channel 5 Abuja is collaborating with the FCT Police Command in providing a weekly platform for up-to-date security check in the FCT. Join us for the real information every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. Yes, this is still Good Morning Abuja on NTA Channel 5, the Unity Station. It's time for us to bring to you the health and beauty benefits of tomatoes. Let's go there.
Tomatoes are not just a staple in the kitchen, but also a powerhouse of health and beauty. Before exploring the various ways this humble fruit can enhance your well-being and appearance, let's hear from a nutritionist.
It's important we consider eating fresh tomato over the dried one or the paste, that's tomato paste. Now, general, male, female, children, adults, you eat tomato fresh, it helps to improve your vision. It's also very beneficial for the heart. Please consider eating fresh tomato or taking it half done. You can saute it a little just and avoid frying it. So it can be steamed, it can be sauteed a little in like heat, but best of all, eat it raw. Then by so doing, you are good to go. I also want to encourage all Nigerians to consider eating fresh tomato for wellness, not for enjoyment. For wellness in the sense that you eat it raw. Go for those fresh ones that are still strong. Get them washed, cut. You can cut with onions. You can cut with any other vegetable. You can even cut it with cabbage. When you add cabbage, you increase the nutrient level. You increase the health benefits. You can cut it with coconuts. You can cut it with any other vegetable, even with cucumber. Mix them together. If you so wish, you could add your olive oil. You could add even palm oil, a little of that, and then you take in the morning. You've taken food as medicine. You've enhanced your health. So I really want to encourage us to, going forward, consider eating fresh tomato for wellness as medicine, not for enjoyment alone.
Tomatoes are rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that promote overall health. The lycopene in tomatoes is known for its anti-inflammatory properties, which can help reduce the risk of chronic diseases. In addition to being a superfood, tomatoes can also work wonders for your skin. The high vitamin C content in tomatoes boosts collagen production, giving you radiant and youthful skin. Let us find out how much people know about the health and beauty benefits of this wonderful vegetable known as tomato.
I eat tomato and I can rub it in my face to remove my black spots. In fact, I love tomato.
After stew, apart from stew, if you want to do salad, no salad you can make
without tomato. If you do salad without tomato, let me say you no do good. And many people are cutting tomato like this. Wash it, eat it. It is a very good for body. And
jewelries, you can use tomato to wash them. We use tomatoes to cook. We eat it raw.
Tomatoes can be used in DIY beauty routines to achieve glowing skin. From tomato face masks to scrubs, the possibilities are endless. They help in tightening pores and reducing acne, leaving your skin refreshed and rejuvenated. But the benefits don't stop there. Tomatoes can also aid in weight management. Their low calorie and high fiber content make them a great addition to a healthy diet, promoting weight loss and improving digestion. Whether enjoyed in a salad, stew, juice, sauce, or eaten raw, incorporating tomatoes into your meals can bring a myriad of benefits to your health and beauty routine.
Amazing, you would agree with me. Wow, the health and beauty benefits of fresh tomatoes. Oh, we have a lot. And I tell you now, tomato is in season, so you can just go out there and get fresh ones and use. You can use it on your skin. You can take the juice. You can use the paste. Okay, you can use it for anything you want to. Let me tell you what I do with fresh tomatoes, especially when it's in season. I like to slice mine and use it for bread. As fresh as it is, I'll slice, boil egg, and then use it for my bread. So you can go ahead and do same. And you saw that you can also use it on your skin. Yes, you can use it on your face. I am not a doctor, so I'm not recommending, but I'm just telling you the beauty benefits of this wonderful fruit called tomatoes. Yes, it's time for us to go on a break, and when we come back, the program continues. So please don't go anywhere.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? You are not ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike!
This is Entertainment Gist.
In the 14th century, 15th, 16th century, and even 17th.
That is for zakah to cure our greed.
The purpose why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to create humanity.
The Bible talks about a man called Apollos.
This is NTA Abuja Channel 5.
See you same time.
And have a great and blessed week ahead. This is called the police.
Live on the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
The least you and I can do is to assist them by making security our primary concern.
And with your support, with your assistance, criminality will be stamped out of FCT. We have determined, we have the capacity to withstand them, we have the capacity to equally deal with them, Your Excellency.
Lowest minimum time possible, especially when the callers were able to get across to us quickly.
Security is everyone's business. This is why NTA Channel 5 Abuja is collaborating with the FCT Police Command in providing a weekly platform for up-to-date security check in the FCT. Join us for the real information every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station.
Hello friends, welcome to Kiddies World.
My name is Omar with Erse. Here with me is
Oguntayo and Kwasi Justina, and today we have many fun things in store for you.
I had so much fun and I hope you had fun.
Exactly, it was exciting, especially when I saw the lion, orchids, and buffaloes.
Okay, it's now time for us to take some quotes on violence. Please save them, I'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, those quotes on violence. Okay, you can see that violence can never be the solution to solve any issue. And you know, today is marked as International Day for the Prevention of Violent Extremism. Based on that, we want to relate mental health to violence. And so we have someone who is a mental health advocate in the person of Okeme, Faith. She be your jaw. I hope I'm right. See,
That's a good try.
Oh, thank you.
Not bad at all.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, that's why I prefer people calling me Chubi. Because
okay.
pronouncing the whole name can be a bit stressful. Chubi Ojo.
Chubi Ojo. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Wow. Okay, today is International Day for the Prevention of Violent Extremism. And based on that, we decided, okay, let's relate it to mental health. What the role mental health plays in violent, extremism. So for you, what are those, should I call them early signs or warnings, that you will notice from somebody or in someone and you feel, oh, this person is going down.
Tendencies.
And how can parents, educators, professional mental health advocates like you, or mental health therapists, how do you think they can come in at the early stage?
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.
It's very important that we emphasize the need to, pay attention to mental health. As a society, we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
Before now, we have paid less attention to mental health. But I would say, from a stand of a professional, I could say for free that the way we think, the way we react, the way we relate to other people spans from how healthy we are mentally, how stable we are mentally. Now, let's talk about extremism first. Extremism refers to an ideology that holds extreme thoughts on maybe politics, social life, economy, religion. Okay, now, when we have established the fact that it's an extreme view, thought, ideology, relating to mental health. For instance, if you have young people who have a traumatizing upbringing, traumatic, chaotic background, they are already vulnerable to radicalization. What this means is mentally, they're already at the brink of accepting what is sold to them because of the state they are mentally. A child who has had a traumatic upbringing, childhood, or let me call it a dysfunctional home. Products of dysfunctional home are dysfunctional kids, and dysfunctional kids brings chaos to the society because mentally they are not stable. And so when a certain radicalism ideology is sold to them, it is not new because they are coming from somewhere. that has laid that foundation.
Foundation, yes, and wrong foundation.
Very wrong foundation. And so people like that have tendencies of agitation, they get angry. You see traces of this. I'm talking about the signs now. You see people who are naturally angry, they get agitated. Anxiety is another, signal or sign. You see people who are bullies. It starts from a very early stage. The child might have seen people around bullying other people, and then it becomes a norm to that child to have this over-exaggerated sense of personality. That ideology has been sold to that child unknowingly.
Okay.
Now, one thing with the impact the environment has on people mentally is you don't need a blackboard and a chalk to sit a child down to say bullying is right. If you see somebody in your age bracket, you should feel like you are better than that person. The way we reacted, the way we act around them, the way we relate to other people when they are there, gives them that sense of this is a norm.
Okay. So it's like we are the example
that they model after,
especially the parents, educators,
exactly,
and so on.
Especially, I would lay more emphasis on the family. The family makes up the society. It is the smallest unit, but without the family, there is no society. And so the first point of education, the first point of tutelage for every human being is the family. Okay. And so if the family gets it wrong, then we are going to always have dysfunctional children that are open to accepting extremism ideologies because they already have a dysfunctional background.
Okay. Let's look at the place of social media. Social media, because especially our youth, what they watch, there's no regulation. Nobody says don't do this, don't do that, because at times the parents are not there, so they can just watch whatever and assimilate whatever. So let's look at the place of social media.
Yes. Okay. So social media in this time and age plays a very critical role in how the society is being molded, in how the ideology, the thinking of a lot of people is being molded. Because if you look at it now, even children within the age range of 7, 8 have access to the internet because parents think that giving their children pads, tabs, phones, it's them doing their children a favor, but that's the greatest disservice that they can do to themselves and their family. It's okay to want to give your children some gadgets, but you're giving them gadgets, you're giving them access to the internet, but you are not present as a person.
Yes, to monitor,
to censor what they are seeing. Now, there is this thing with ideologies like extremism. It is always a catch them young thing.
Wow.
Yes, it is a catch them young thing where it starts by selling some ideologies that sounds like it is not really bad. Because one thing about extremism, the ideology is it's a binary thinking ideology. It is the super villain versus the superheroes, the good versus bad, the us versus them. And so you see people selling ideologies like misogyny on the internet, and then young boys sees it and thinks, yeah, women should not be that rated after all. And then they begin to buy into this ideology.
Yes.
And then we are, as a people, in a place where we do not have policies to checkmate what goes on in our space. Our algorithm puts to us what we are interested in. And so if you get to see such contents before and you paid attention, you watched it, it spanned 30 seconds, it spanned 45 seconds. When there are posts that related to hate statements, hate speeches, extremism ideologies, the algorithm will bring it back to that same person. And then you continue watching, and then, the windows of our heart is our ears. And then with time, you begin to feel like it's not really bad. And then for someone who is coming from a traumatic, chaotic upbringing, childhood, it's so easy. That person buys into it already.
Honestly.
So I think the social media should play a very critical role in dissemination of the right information. So we need to do more as a people. We need to do more as an institution. If we can have policies to checkmate what the algorithm of social media showcases to our young people, instead of watching videos or content related to extremism ideologies or other harmful, speeches, content that would affect the thinking and ideology of other young people, we should push for policies that would showcase content on STEM education, how they could sit at the comfort of their homes and come up with some innovative ideas, craft something, just to channel invest in their talents, stuffs like that. They could work also as distractions away from people investing their time in watching contents that are derogatory.
Okay, in all this, how can mental health professionals come in? Let's look at foundation, mental health advocates like you, mental health professionals. How do you think they can come in, especially at that early stage in our schools, or should I say sensitization or whatever? So how do you think they can come in?
Okay. I started by saying that as a people, we haven't gotten there yet. It's just been in recent times, say last 2 years, that we have decided to wake up to the reality of mental health as a people. Until now, it's not still an ideology that a lot of people buy into. You take, for instance, a typical Nigerian going through grief, for instance. You tell the person, I think this grief is getting you down. You need therapy. They ask you, therapy? I don't understand. What do I need? What do I need therapy for? So how many people recognizes the fact that mental health plays an important role, a crucial role in our day-to-day living? How many mental health advocates do we have in the country? How many foundations do we have that are focused on mental health?
Okay, we're going to go on a break. When we return, you talk to us about how mental health can contribute or play a part in violent extremism. So let's take this break. I'm sure you've been listening, and she has a lot to say to us as we mark the International Day for the Prevention of Violent Extremism. It is very, very important. Our mental health is very important, and that's what she's trying to say to us. So please don't go anywhere. When we come back, she still has more to dish out to us.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? You are ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
They know my story.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike.
This is Entertainment Gist.
In the 14th century, 15th, 16th century, and even 17th.
That is for zakah to cure our greed.
The purpose why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to create humanity.
The Bible talks about a man called Apollos. This is NTA Abuja Channel 5.
See you same time.
And have a great and blessed week ahead.
Yes, welcome back. We've been discussing the role of mental health in violent extremism, and we still have the mental health advocate in the house. All right. Before we went on a break, I said you were going to talk to us about the role of mental health in all this. Do you think why people go to the extreme, why people go into violence and all that? Do you think they have mental health issues also contribute to that?
Yes.
Okay,
so permit me to pick up from the last thing I was saying, because they are together. Okay, so if we do not believe in a thing, how then can it thrive? If we do not believe that mental health is something to be prioritized, how then can we push the message of mental health, the importance, the
Importance
need
yeah.
for mental stability. I will pick a very common one. There is a mental health disorder called the narcissistic personality disorder.
Okay.
The narcissistic personality disorder is a sense of over-exaggerated personality.
Oh, over-exaggerated.
Yes.
Okay.
They are often called narcissists. Now, these people, when we see them, I'm very sure if I begin to break down the characteristics of a narcissist, you will discover that in every 10 people you have met, you have seen 2, 3 people with traces that are characteristics of the narcissistic personality disorder.
Okay.
But because as a people we haven't gotten there, we haven't prioritized mental health, we do not see it as a thing. You see, you have, let's use spouse for instance. You have a spouse that wants to be worshipped. His words are the final law. You cannot object. You have nothing to suggest. Right? Those are traces. And if that person goes for further check and diagnosis, the person will discover that he has narcissistic personality disorder. But then we do not rate mental health, so we just conclude that that's how he is. It's nothing serious. But now
so we say it's stress.
It's not stress. Now, we now put an environment, set an undertone for that person to continue to thrive in that act. And then it begins to graduate. You know, all of these things are in stages. It passes the first stage, it goes to the second stage, it moves to the third stage. The same thing with bipolar disorder, personality disorder, and then the list is long, schizophrenia and the rest. So because we don't pay attention to it, how do we now know that this is what we have identified the problem is?
Wow.
If you do not know the problem, you cannot know how to go about solving it. Okay, so mental health plays a very crucial role because you see somebody who feels like I'm supposed to be worshipped. I have an exaggerated sense of personality. And so if you are working for that kind of a person, he's your boss, then I'm sorry, he would trample on you. He will make you feel like you are not enough. And then you keep doing the work.
Dehumanize you.
And then being in a relationship with that kind of a person affects your own mental health because you are constantly feeling like you are not enough. You are constantly feeling like you are not giving your best. And then gradually you begin to lose your own sense of personality. You begin to lose your own sense of, your sense of worth. You begin to lose your identity.
Who you are.
Yes. Because you are constantly reminded that you are not enough, you are not doing your best, you're not getting it right.
Wow. Now,
just to massage the ego of the person who is a narcissist.
Wow.
Yes.
Now let's look at the role of the government in all this. Not only the government, the community, the family, non-governmental organizations. How can we? Because, like you said, there are signs, early signs in all this. So, what do you think can be done to do this?
I think a lot can be done. If you look at extremism as an ideology, there is always an undertone in terms of environment, atmosphere to which it thrives. Now, when there is an atmosphere where, let's say, for instance, misinformed or underinformed communities, where they don't have access to the right information, and then a set of people or a group of people try to sell the extremism ideology to young people to tell them, oh, you know what, we're not getting what is due us.
Yes.
I think the right way to do it is to be violent. Yes, I think it's the right thing to go about it is violence. Let's get their attention. Let's create havoc. Let's get our own share of it for ourselves. The national cake, like to put it that way. So underinformed communities are more on the brink of receiving the extremism ideology. So now the government has a role to play. As a family, we have roles to play. The educational sector has a role to play.
The community.
The community has a role to play. let's start with the government. If the government would, make policies for the regulation of what we see on the internet, what the algorithm puts to us as a country. Some other developed countries have done that, like China. So if we have a policy that checkmates what we see, there is no atmosphere for hate speeches, because what I would say here, because it's out there, would reach more people than what I say in the comfort of my room. So the internet, the information dissemination organizations, they all have a role to play. So if we have a policy that is checkmating the information that goes out to the public, one of the problems will be solved. Then two, we need to pay more attention. There need to be emphasis on mental health. Can the government make a policy where every school, both private and public schools, have at least counselors in the school?
Public health, mental
health practitioners, therapists in the school, where their duty, the sole aim of them being there is to checkmate the activities of the students, to be able to decode when there is a change, there is, some sort of change in attitude, in behavior, mannerism, the way they relate, and then call them close to give them the right, to give them the coaching that they need to help them out of it, so they don't stay there too long, and then the wrong help or the wrong hand is extended, and then it pulls them into violence, extremism, ideologies.
Thank you so much. Now, as we mark the International Day for Prevention of Violent Extremism, as a mental health advocate, what will be your word to people watching you, especially someone battling with mental health issues?
Okay, first I would like to lay emphasis on family. We can do more as a people if we pay attention to our family. Parents, mothers, fathers, pay attention. One of the most pertinent signs of mental health disorder is isolation.
Okay.
If you have a child who used to be vibrant and all of a sudden becomes withdrawn, is trying to become, secluded, the person doesn't want to relate with people, becoming socially distant, always isolated. These are environments that makes for other types of mental health to thrive, other mental health challenges to thrive, right? So pay attention to the children you are raising, because dysfunctional family produces dysfunctional children that causes havoc to the society.
I love that.
Yes. And then secondly, I would say that as a people, we can do more. We need to prioritize our mental health. If you are going through something, don't think that you are too old to get someone to confide in. Get a counselor, get a therapist. If at some point you feel like you need help, don't feel you are too big or you are in a particular status, in quotes, that does not permit you to get the help that you need. Talk to someone, get help, so that it doesn't degenerate into something terrible, and then you would want to ask yourself how you got there, how you became a terrible person. But then you took your steps to get to that point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. When the issue of mental health, I don't think, no matter what we say here, it can never be overemphasized.
True.
We need to, just like you said, the government, the community, parents, educators, everybody, all hands must be on deck, especially when that early sign is there. Thank you so much. We've been speaking with a mental health advocate. You've heard from her. She has just told us what we need to do and how we need to go about it as we mark International Day for the Prevention of Violent Extremism. Thank you so much, for coming. Now, I want to say to all of us, our youths are intelligent. Like I said, they always wear their thinking cap. I believe that foundation matters. The government, the parents, parents, government, the communities where they are. There are so many things we can do to help our youth to channel their energies to positive use. You have heard it, so that we'll be able to curb violence in our environment, in our communities, and in our society at large. It's been Good Morning Abuja. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for more. Thank you.
I welcome you on today's ride on the show Good Morning Abuja.
This This is Window on Abuja.
We have everything it takes to compete with any nation all across the world.
How do we make it? We are not ready to produce.
I've been contributing to the development of your kingdom.
They know my story.
Hello and welcome to Young Hearts.
Our focus today will be on hepatitis B.
Ladylike.
This is Entertainment Gist.
In the 14th century, 15th, 16th century, and even 17th.
That is for zakah to cure our greed.
The purpose why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to create humanity.
The Bible talks about a man called Apollos. This is NTA Abuja Channel 5.
See you same time.
And have a great and blessed week ahead.
It's good to know that you are still there. You've not missed, I tell you. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. Now it's time for us to go into the kitchen. And let's see what we have there for you.
Joro me, I want you to love me. Joro me, baby. Joro me, joro. Kilo de, why you know they call me? Kilo de, baby. Kilo de, joro. I dey give you signal. Joro me. Why you know they see me? Joro me. I give you green light to tire. Joro me, joro. I'm a kilo babu. Joro me. May you know they fumble. Joro me. I go shoot my shot to your joro. So joro baby, take my number.
Yes, it's just a breakfast, like every Wednesday we make sure we serve you breakfast. This is our breakfast to you this morning, and we hope you will go ahead to make one for yourself. Next up on our lineup this morning is sport updates. Let's go there.
Nigeria Under-20 team, the Flying Eagles, have resumed campaign in Abuja ahead of the 2025 CAF Under-20 African Nations Cup in Cote d'Ivoire. Coach Aliou Zubairu drilled the players in their first training session on Monday at the FIFA Goal Project Package B Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, with 2 training sessions, morning and afternoon, holding on Tuesday. Nigeria are back-to-back champions of WAFU B Under-20 competition, where they qualified for the CAF Age Grade AFCON finals. The CAF Youth Championship will hold from 26 April to 18 May 2025. 12 countries, namely Nigeria, South Africa, Zambia, Tanzania, DR Congo. The draw for the competition is yet to be conducted. This edition of the tournament also doubles as the African qualifiers for the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile, where teams who reached the semi-final stage qualified automatically. Talking table tennis, Nigeria table tennis sensation set for ITTF World Cup qualifier in Tunisia, Matthew Kuti, has once again demonstrated why he is one of the continent's rising stars. The teenager has been included in the star-studded lineup for the 2025 African Cup, set to take place in Tunis, Tunisia, from February 25 to 27. Kuti, who has won 4 of the 5 major tournaments in Nigeria and has been the most consistent player in the country, was listed by the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation due to his growing profile in the sports.
That was our sport update for our sport lovers. Up next on our lineup is weather forecast. Let's see what the weather looks like. Well, this is where we draw the curtains for today's show. A very big thank you for staying tuned. And if you missed I tell you, you've not really missed, because you can go on YouTube, NTA Channel 5 Abuja, Good Morning Abuja, and then you have the show to watch. We want to say a very big thank you to all our guests. And remember, as we mark the International Day for the Prevention of Violent Extremism, please remember that peace, we must give peace a chance. And like Princess said in her music, we are all Nigerians, and united we must stand. Remember that there's no place like home. We cannot but build our home. All right, my name is Cynthia Opene. Once again, thank you so much, and please do take good care of yourself. Bye for now.